There are a lot of simple-minded people that are taking one little phrase and running with it, and they're going to get their promise stolen from them. Have not one time have I sat down and said and gave my name, a preacher, an elder, a pastor, a rabbi, or anything special, have I? So I'm just asking a simple question for those out there that are listening. I'm trying to figure out who you are, all right? Whether if you be a Hebrew Israelite, all right, or a Gentile, and especially the Hebrews and the Israelites. I'm trying to figure out where all of these high priest names came from. To the Lord, then when you were in spirit, did you get discernment and give them to him? Because they come along with an attribute and the characteristics that's going to have Satan snatch your promise away really, really quick. And we're going to get to that before I'm finished. So where did they come through? Because I never proclaimed to be anything. I never said that I was anything except for what my name is. That was it. I'm just giving you something that whatever me and the Lord got working on, me and the one true God got working on, whatever he calls me and tells me to call myself, that's between me and him. Now, if it's supposed to be foretold, then let it be that time when the time is chosen. But other than that, this is between me and God, what my name is and what he calls me and what he has sent me as. But I've never proclaimed to be anything but just somebody that's giving you interpretation of the truth and the righteous in the rightful way. Stop doing all this hatred stuff and separation, because you're making yourself and you're making everybody else look bad. And every time that I have to turn around and walk around with these fringes on my hips because of my bloodline and what I stand for in lineage, and I got a bunch of people out there posting stuff of hatred and separation, calling people names, and he told you not to do that, not even those of old. Then you sit down and talk about Isaiah. Isaiah never even said nothing about this. He came because y'all was hard-headed and doing the same exact thing, but in other atrocities in a different form and fashion. So why in the heck do you still fall into the same old trap and characteristic and ways? Stop it, because you're taking everything the wrong way, and I'm getting fed up with it. So for all the Texas Christians that sit down and drive all the way up here, and everybody knows it's in New York City, and goes to that shelter Bellevue, what is it, on 31st, 33rd, somewhere over there, downtown Manhattan, all right, they go down Midtown and go down there and they feed the people for 3 days straight. They preach to them, they give them literature and food and all that other stuff. They drive all the way back to Texas and have to go through that disrespectful stuff that a lot of Israelite brothers are doing, calling them and telling them that they're going to hell. And the poor guy had to sit there and go, you're not sending me hell, because I do believe in the Lord and I do righteous. And they put in all this work, but y'all don't know that because you're too busy being full of hate, and Satan's going to take your promise away from you and then snatch it away, because you become one with everything that this word is standing for from the beginning of time. So let's get into the word and what it's actually saying, that you miss it screwed and you're out there doing it. And for those Christians in Texas, all right, that come out here and do that, I really, really want to apologize on the behalf of my people, because a lot of them are ignorant, and it states that they're going to be. Why? Here we go. He gives you the parables of the seeds, okay? 4 of them. One got through on the wayside, and what happened to him? The bird came and snatched him away. And he sat down and he told you the bird came and snatched him away, because when they came into it, they were very, very happy, but it only stayed with them for a little bit of while, and then they turned around and went and turned and did the same old atrocities and went to hell, all right? Then you had another seed that sat down, and what happened to that one? It sat down and it fell into the rock, so it didn't really grow no roots. So when the sun came out, it burnt. And what did that mean? All right, that mean that as soon as some atrocities and tribulations for those who do fall in the word, all right, that may be Gentiles, or thus might be the people and living in the world, they get swayed to socialistic ways. And when somebody tries to persecute them for being a part or loving God, like what we're seeing today, they hurry up and say, no, 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 and they run the other way and they go to hell. They can't deal with the tribulations and tribulations because of how people are tricking them up. And then when they do love God, they got people like you scare them away from the word of God, because they don't want to be a part of anything that they think is racial, okay? So those are the ones. And then they had the one that fell in the thorns. Those are the ones that got choked up. Those are the ones that sit down and twist the word and cause a separation, or twist it to get rich out of it, and they're not even using it to be fruitful. They become unfruitful with the word, because they choked it up and twisted around, either for financial, socialistic, economical means, social values, and all the things that we're seeing today. So it's working on both sides of the fences, because the Lord is well-rounded, and you're going to get judged. He's going to say one side did it and the other side did it. It didn't make a difference who was who. You let him snatch up your stuff, which we get into the and the 4th one. which fell on fertile soil. So when it fell on fertile soil, all right, it multiplied 160, 50, and 90 folds into many, because they stayed faithful in the righteous path. So do you get it? Then he sits down here and he tells you again, because they say, oh Lord, what do you mean about these parables? Why in the heck are you giving us parables? You know, and they really meant it for them, but they're trying to make it seem like it was the people he was speaking to. So he knew that. So he sits down and says, this is why I give them the parables, talking to the disciples, which is you and the people, because you're hard-headed and you're sitting over here and you're going to lose your promise with the hateful ways. So stop it. When you're out there, speak of love and love. You don't need to prove if you're the people, if you already know you the people. So preach of love and do this, that, and the third. Stop pointing out who is who and what is what, because there's a lot of Gentiles that are going to make it. So stop the separations, because you're acting like simple-minded people. And what is he saying? He said, because it has been given to you, all right, to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given. So he says it in a simple form, then he hits you with a nice little curveball to the left with the forever has it to him, forever has to him more will be given, and he will have an abundance. But whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken away. So what does that mean? He gives you another parable so quick that the disciples and them, and even you that read this, don't understand it. All right? In other words, whoever has to him will have more. Whoever has that promise and they seek the word and they walk in a righteous way, they will get more of the word will come to them, and so will the mysteries of life. Thus thou bringing them into eternal life, so they'll have an abundance and an eternal life. Duh. And then he sits down and says, but whoever has that promise and the whole 9 yards, and think just because they're the people, even what he has will be taken away right from his eyes, because he didn't use it in a righteous way and walk up that path. Then after he says that real quick and hit you with that parable, because he said it in such a simple form, they didn't get it. Now you get it. Simple-minded. Therefore I speak to them in parables, because seeing that they do not see, and hear they do not hear, nor do they understand. Let's read this all over again, because now he breaks it back in another simple form, because he just let them know. He hit them with another parable real quick, which was that left curveball, which I'm breaking down in the simplest form if you know what a curveball is in baseball. All right. Therefore I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see. Even though they see me and they see that I'm right here and I'm speaking of righteousness, they still are blind to the fact of all the miracles, all the other stuff. In hearing, they do not hear, nor do they understand. Because I just hit you with a parable again to the left and you still didn't get it. And in them, the prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled, because Isaiah had even came and told these people that they're hard-headed. Y'all ain't listening and doing this, that, and the third. Every prophet that has came and done this has to go on through so much, all right, to make your stiff necks turn behind and stop doing it. Now you're part of the weaving. You become one with the hatred and all the atrocities of twisting something to your own liking. Stop it. And what is Isaiah saying? Isaiah, which says, hearing you, and then, all right, hold on, let me start from 14. And in them, the prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled, which says, hearing you will hear and shall not understand, and seeing you will see and not perceive. So he sits down and he breaks down the same thing that he said, all right, in the one where he said, forever has to him more will be given, and he will have the abundance. So what he did is he used the same parable, the same meaning of that, but broke it down in a different way. Why? Because you're still not hearing it and you're still not understanding it. No matter how many ways I give it to you, it means the same thing. You're still not understanding, because you have bitter roots inside of you, which is straying you. All right? And then, since they can't perceive, we see right here, for the hearts of the people have grown dull, their ears, hard of hearing, and their eyes have closed, lest they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, lest they should understand with their hearts and turn, so that I should heal them. He's told you that he did not come to change any of the prophets' rules. He did not come to change the Old Testament. All right, but the one thing is turn the other cheek. Thus thou turn turn your face, turn your body, and turn your ass around and walk away, all right? And so he can heal you, because you will have that internal light. Turn the other cheek and speak of love and kind of understand it. Do you got it now?